that's me. All right, we live.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, look out. It's something new. It's something fresh. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay of this, ladies and gentlemen, look, go get you some iced tea, go get you some water. For some of you, go get your medicine. Put it right beside you. Welcome for the first initial show of what we want to call the OG Cowboys panel, in which you see myself and you see my brother, Cowboy Joe, literally my fraternity brother. Then we have the one and the only B Bird. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing right now is a bunch of wisdom. What you're seeing is a bunch of knowledge, not of this year, not only this year's Cowboys team, but we got knowledge from years and years and years going back. Some of you weren't even born when Jerry Jones bought this team. We were, you understand. We know about it. We understand the culture of the Dallas Cowboys. We know exactly what is going on. We also will have from time to time our brother Jules, the son of Cowboy Joe, who's in the building now. You can tell by him here. Y'all have to forgive the noise that you're hearing now by him. He's with his son in basketball practice. But listen, we're excited to just give something to approach. We're looking for everyone. We need you to do something before we even get started, before I pass the mic on to the brothers here. We need you to share. That's the first thing. We need you to share. We also need you to hit this like button. Hit the like. We need you to smash it real quick. You got some real quality on here right now. We ain't even started talking yet, but you should know most of you know us by now. We just decided to combine our efforts on tonight. So hit that like button and let me just introduce you and then we'll keep moving. What up? What up, Cowboy Joe and B-Bird? Talk to me, Cowboy Joe.
Great to be on with the OGs. I think you nailed it. So much knowledge. You know, we're gonna bring something different here to the space, and just excited about joining my brothers here. And so we are. Our channel is Father and Son Cowboys and Sportscast. I do it with my son, and looking forward to just connecting with some new viewers through the legendary Big Time Show and the legendary B Bird. So just looking forward to the discussion.
Yes, sir. What up, B-Bird?
What's happening, man? I appreciate y'all having me on, to be honest with you. Glad to join in with some brothers that I can go back and talk about some things from the past and they can not what they heard about, what they seen. So it's great to be on with you guys, man, and just chopping it up with people that have the same passion about the Cowboys as I have. Again, I've told people before, I have Cowboy fans in my group around here, but I'm the most passionate one. And I feel like I'm talking to two people that are pretty much the most passionate Cowboy fans in their group also. So I just like to, come chop it up with y'all, man, have a good time. Just talk about the Cowboys, and we're trying to get 6, man.
We're trying to get 6. And listen, that's what we all come together for. The more voices and Cowboy content creators that are in the space, it only makes us better. So I am super excited about being here with all you guys. Listen, I see people coming in finally. Listen, we want to involve you in the chat as well. Let's light this chat up. I see the Cowboys, Shane, Lee Harrison so far that's with me. I'm quite sure there are others here. I can't see exactly how many are on, but whoever's here, we would like to interact with you. We kind of would like to hear what you have to say as well. So please do not hesitate. Do not hesitate. Who is that? Judger Day. How you doing? Appreciate you popping in on us. Do us a favor. Will you share this content? This is our first rodeo together. Will not be the last. We're here to have some fun and to get serious. Of course, as you all know, the Cowboy season has started. The NFL season has started. We are 0-1. We got to get on the scoreboard. We got to do it this week. We have to do it this week. We can't go 0-2. I didn't care who we were playing. We cannot go 0-2. So it's serious business. But what we want to do here, if you don't mind, brothers, I think we need to figure out how we're going to win. What do we need to do to win? All those type of things. And I think that's what kind of angle where we're going with. So I'll pass the mic. Cowboy Joe, don't kick us off, man. Lou's take in the building. Our brother is here. What's up, Lou? What's going on, man? Thank you for popping in on us. Don't kick it off, Cowboy Joe.
So shout out to Lou, somebody that we follow going back. And Lou, as I mentioned before, Lou, my son and my daughter, they went to the same high school here in Dallas.
Wow.
The great Bishop Dunn Catholic school, Bishop. It's a Catholic school.
Wow.
One of the well-known Catholic schools here in Dallas. But I don't think I got a chance to talk to you guys about the Philadelphia game. And so, one of the things that stood out to me and was a linebacker play. So watching the game, and I want to get you guys input, just watching it, it seems like Sanborn was the weakest link, and then probably Murray. And I've kind of got some mixed opinions about Murray too, the way he played. The part of the game I saw, I thought he did okay. Sanborn just looked lost. So to answer your question, Noop, I think what we got to do this week is hopefully we'll see that you're going to see Leofow. And I'm not really sure about the other two guys. So what did you guys think about Murray and Sanborn, the way they played against the Eagles? B-Bird?
Well, yeah, so I'll just tell you how I felt about the game overall. I was actually encouraged in the game because, mind you, we are playing against Super Bowl champions, man. And, you know, with our squad and our roster is not on par with theirs. So we have to have a perfect game to beat them. But I think that we, overall, man, we were right there at the end. A couple of plays, CD didn't have his best game. That's not going to happen every week. I expect him to bounce back. But I was disappointed in the defense early on. After we scored, then they scored, then we scored, then they scored. And I was like, what kind of year we're going to have here? But I think they settled down in the second half, especially after the lightning break. They shut down Saquon Barkley. Really, you look at it statistically, man. I mean, they didn't throw the ball well to the outside wide receivers, nor did they run the ball well with Saquon Barkley. And that's a formula for us to win. But we actually didn't. I think there was some plays to be made out there that we just didn't make. He's had those games before, but I think he's going to bounce back. Just with the linebacker play, I probably didn't isolate that. I just know that, I was just a little bit disappointed in the quarterback running, and that may have been more with schematics, like not having a spy in or something like that, because I think we had an opportunity to make some stops, but he did some things with his leg, which is he's apt to do, man. So I was just overall, man, really, I was encouraged. That's a lot for me, man, because, I'm really a stickler, but I just really like what they did. I felt that the defense could take a step up, could be some disrespect for Michael Parsons, all the love that he was getting going to Green Bay. And so, I just think that they played overall a good performance. You just played against the Super Bowl champions. I think it's 20 other teams in the league you'd have played against, you probably would have won. So I'm encouraged about this week, especially with the Giants coming in.
We played well. We should have won. There's no question in my mind about that. But be specific to go to what Cowboy Joe asked. I really believe that is real simple to me. Sanborn was brought in because of his knowledge of the defense that Eberflus runs, which he does have. He usually is in position, to at least be around the football. That's the other moniker that he had. However, one thing that Sanborn does not have is athleticism. And I think that's what hurt him. I think he knew what was going on, but if you just don't have the ability to get there, I think that hurt him. And when you start talking about somebody like Jalen Hurts, you can only go so fast in what your body allows you to go. And so Hurts can make a slow guy or a slower guy look bad. I think that's kind of what happened when you start talking about the responsibilities and the keys that you have to have when you have a Saquon Barkley back there, and they can run a option type run, or and the quarterback can pull it out. If these type of things, where if you're a step behind, you ain't gonna make it up against a Saquon or a Jalen Hurts. And I think that's the case. Now, going forth, when you look at our schedule, and even Sunday, we're talking about mobile or classic mobile type quarterbacks. So even with a Russell Wilson, no matter how old he is, he still can run. And so I'm thinking then when we start going to Chicago, we're talking about Williams who can run. Then of course when we come to Green Bay, Jordan Love really not a runner, but he still can run. He's a big guy. So the way that I'm looking at it is, if he didn't, if he's having problems with his athleticism, then you need to substitute somebody in that can move. And that's why I believe what Cowboy Joe is 1,000,000% right. I think that Lil File is Lil File time. He's a playmaker. We're not getting the full benefit of Lil File just playing special teams. That's just not good enough. He has to get on the field this week. I would hope that he would. And there's still room for Sanborn. You just got to make sure that you put him in the right package, right down the distance, where something like, if it's a pass and he loves the zone, Sanborn can do that. But as far as trying to keep up with being an athlete, nah, he can't do that. So we need some more explosiveness on the defense. They played well, no doubt about it. If you would have told me that Saquon only had 60 yards and Hurts only had 151 yards passing, I sign up for that every week.
Yeah.
It's no question out. And you tell me that A.J. Brown only got one catch for 8 yards. Come on now. I mean, we couldn't have drew it up any better. We just didn't make the plays that we need to make the win. So to answer your question again, Cowboy Joe, I think it's just I think you bullseye. I think that you got to get Lil File out there. Let's just see what's going on. The name that you didn't call out was Clark. Clark played okay. I can deal with Clark. I can deal with him, but Murray's a downhill guy. You know what I'm saying? Just downhill. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't kind of probably what we were expecting.
One thing too, I was going to ask real quick. Now Sanborn came over as he was a special teams ace before,
yes,
right? Yeah, that's what
I'm saying. He wasn't really a starter there in Chicago and all that. But he did, see a lot of playing time, and always got compliments of a guy who was always, very knowledgeable and always in the right spot at the right time. That type of dude.
And when I saw Hurts running around a little bit, and I can say that I thought that's when we kind of missed the athleticism of Michael Parsons. That can kind of run that thing down a little bit. I didn't see anyone kind of closing on him. And I was like, that's kind of where we used to get Micah coming in from behind and catch a guy trying to start the run.
Him and Overshown. And maybe that's the reason why B-Bird and Cowboy Joe, maybe that's the reason why we saw something that we ain't seen in Dallas a long time, that corner blitz. When he blitzed Diggs. I mean, like, wow, I ain't seen that in so long, other than when we were playing nickel and maybe Jordan Lewis was doing it. But from the cornerback position, we ain't kind of used to that. But they had to do that.
But they were effective.
It was very effective. Very effective. He got there. I think it shocked everybody to see him call it. But it was very effective. And then you have to say kind of like, okay, well, if this is what we have to do to generate pressure, long as the back end is covered, which it was, we might see even a little bit more of that. So, Eberflus called a good game. Man. He did. He called a good game.
Yeah, and so we got the Bland injury. So when I initially heard about the injury, guys, I was thinking it was the same injury, the foot problem, but we learned it's more like a ankle sprain. So that's kind of good news, I guess. But look, do we have concerns about Bland? We haven't seen a couple of games with Bland and Diggs playing together. I did like the way Elam played, by the way. But are we concerned about Bland just being an injury prone player?
I'll take it real quick. You have to because he's been injured ever since he's been here. You just hit the nail on the head. It just seemed like we can't get what we really need, and that is to have Bland and Diggs on the field at the same time. I think the stat says that out of all these years, they've only played 4 games together. That's not what we're looking for. We hadn't had the 2 all pros on the field at the same time. It seems like when one gets healthy, then immediately the other one gets hurt. That's been the history of it. So it's important. Yes, it's important, and I believe, to be honest with you, make it real quick. If obviously he's not playing Sunday, if he's not right for Chicago, he don't need to play Chicago. We need him for Green Bay. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If it's any game he need to be back. It's got to be that one if he's ready to go. Of course, nobody. We just know his ankle. We don't know if it's a high ankle sprain. We don't know if it's a second degree. Second. We just don't know. And I think they're gonna keep that kind of in the dark. But let them get as healthy as possible, and hopefully our other guys can hold up for that.
Bieber, your thoughts?
So I would say I think it's just a regular ankle sprain. Hopefully it is, man. But the only thing is, I lost a little bit of trust in the Cowboys, rehab staff or medical staff. I remember a few years ago when he went out and he was only supposed to be out a couple of 3 games. Next thing you know, it kept getting longer and longer, and he pretty much he was a wrap for that year. But I hope it's just a regular ankle sprain, and we can like you said, we're gonna need him against. If he's any kind of doubt against Chicago, like you said, the Green Bay game has to be the point because you're gonna need everything you need. You're gonna need everything that you got for that game. Man.
Yeah, and I think for this Giants game, I kind of feel like this is a bounce back game for Dallas, guys. I'm predicting it's going to be a blowout. Now, obviously, what you want to do is just get off to a quick start, and then just take it from there. But I just got a feeling it's going to be a typical Cowboys bounce back game. You playing at home. I don't like 12 o'clock games. For the most part, I think those are kind of trap games for us. Mm-hmm. But I'm just thinking that this is going to be a game where we're just going to come in. We're going to open up a can, and I'm thinking it's going to be 35-10, 34-10. That's kind of how I see this game going. Dak played extremely well. B-Bear, we talked about this on the last show that we did. This game was kind of similar to the Tampa Bay game when he came back, when he had his first leg injury. This game played out the same way to one in Philly. Yeah. And they was right there the whole way. Could have pulled it out.
Yeah.
And we got to talk about our guy who's dropping passes. He kind of zones out every now and then. Lamb. It's not the first time we've seen that. So you guys think he's just gonna have a bounce back game where he just balls out?
Yeah.
I just don't think he's gonna drop no passes. Now, can we? I did have a subject I want to talk about that's in the passing game. Absolutely. If you don't mind. Pickens. This is what I want to ask y'all, because this is something I thought about, because we had Cooks here, and I never felt like Cooks was really utilized the way he could have been. I think you always want to be even-handed in your passing game, be to throw to both wide receivers equally. But I thought they never really got Cooks involved, and I do feel like, and I'm telling you, man, I am a big Dak Prescott fan, but I think Dak gets kind of locked in on the wide receiver that he trusts, and he'll go to them, but he doesn't realize that the defense knows that he does that too. I think you have to get these other wide receivers like Pickens involved early in the game, and then understand that they're going to shade to CD because he's the guy. If they're going to do that, you got another guy capable of doing that, but you cannot feed it to him. I just felt like they didn't get Pickens involved early enough in the game to make him effective. I don't know if y'all saw the same thing, or what do y'all think about that?
Well, I think it's a good time for me to butt in on that one. I was shocked and looking at the film, I was shocked how Philly shaded actually to Pickens.
Hmm.
They
Oh wow.
they
Yeah, I didn't
they,
see that.
they shaded more to Pickens than they did Lamb. That's the reason why it seemed like Lamb was so wide open, partly because he's such a great route runner.
Yeah.
But if you really look at it maybe within the first 2 or 3 steps of the snap being when the ball is hiked, of course, you'll be shocked to see that they really locked in on Pickens and they had confidence that their corners could hold CD one-on-one, which I thought was great. I thought it'd been the reverse way.
Yeah.
That's what it was. However, B Bird, leave it up to you to start something. I guess this is where the OGs come into play. Because I was thinking something a little bit different than what you just said, but I was thinking about it last week. Call it conspiracy.
Yeah.
If you got plans on keeping Pickens, just go with me, chat. Come go with me, chat, real quick. I guess we finna start something. This is what we do, y'all. If you trying to keep Pickens for next year, you don't really want him to go too crazy, do you? Because if he does, you're gonna have to pay him. Now, if he has something like 6 to 8 catches, like you just said, Brandon Cook type numbers, close to 1,000, barely over 1,000. I don't even think you ain't gonna have to pay him a whole lot. I'm just saying. I know it's conspiracy, but I'm putting it out there. I'm not saying that's the case. I believe that Dak is gonna throw it out there, but trust me, Dallas don't want. I mean, Jared Jones, even though he want to win, at the same time, he don't want Pickens to have no 75 to 83 catches for 11 to 1,200 yards receiving. Come on, man. If he does that, you know how much money you got to pay this dude for real. So really, when we start talking about this one rental year and all that type of stuff, I can see it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just want to throw that out there.
Well, let me tell you, conspiracies is when you're way out there, but I think you got some things to back it up, right? So I'll give you a couple of them. I think they do. I think the front office dictates who gets the ball, right? Cole Beasley said that for itself out of his mouth. But if you remember Amari Cooper, right? So his last year, it was kind of amazing how they targeted him 19 times in the game against Tampa Bay, the first of the year, and it dwindled all the way to the end. And I think they knew that they weren't going to re-sign him, and to make it more palatable for the fans, they had to keep his stats low. Because if he came out and caught for 125 balls for 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns, they'd be like, "How you trading this guy? What are you doing?" But if you keep his stats low, you can do that. So what you're saying is not right. Now, let me tell you something. It's counterintuitive to winning, right? Because any GM and any head coach cannot plan for contracts down the road like that. They got to win now. And that's what the issue is. And I always go back to. So what I'm saying is that, no, it's not a conspiracy. It's a hunch. You know what I'm saying? Because it's more things there to actually say that, no, could be true. We have a player that actually said out his own mouth. So, I mean, no, I don't. If that was true, it would not be far-fetched. Let me just say that much.
And I want to ask you guys this, and I don't know. Do we know if his agent is the same agent that Micah had, or is it just the same agency?
It's the same agency.
Agency, not the same agent.
But because they're part of the same agency, you have to use your common sense into play. I'm quite sure that our fraternity brother will have some type of something in this. They're all part of the same company. So I mean, come on now. Jerry gonna have to deal with somebody from that place, and they're pretty much all on the same page. So it's interesting,
And I understand that Tyler Smith is with the same agency as well. I don't know about the agent, but he's with the same agency. So I'm gonna go back to where this all started. Do we think Jerry learned his lesson with this Micah thing about the way he's doing contracts, or is he gonna go down the same road with Tyler Smith and Pickens? Because before Micah left, I was convinced that they're gonna sign Pickens, B Bird. But after this big brouhaha, and then what we saw in the first game, and that's one of the things that I noticed right away just watching the game was they weren't going to Pickens, and I was like, to me, that was kind of almost inexcusable, especially down the stretch, the last drive. I'm thinking that Pickens to catch a couple of those balls that CD dropped, and I think the elements were involved too. It was a cool night there. The ball is probably wet, but how he's making excuses for CD. But I would love to have seen a couple of those late balls, Bishop go to Pickens there, and we just didn't see it.
Like I said, and maybe we'll bring this counter to the table on the next time. I think that once you see the film, and I like I said, I was shocked. I was shocked to cover that
He was being double.
A lot of the safety help
Just
was
safety help,
shading that way,
Shading.
and some of the route concepts that we were running were going, down the field. Dak was looking down the field, so you would have thrown into danger. That's why I said it. Some of that was CD was looking real good, but a lot of that was because there was only one man guarding them, which I thought was crazy. And that's why. And look, to be honest with you, look at the numbers. There's no defensive coordinator in the world that wants to give up I think he had over 100 yards in the first half. Come on now,
Okay.
you're asking for depth. That Dak really don't throw in the double coverage. Like I think he had over 100 yards just in the first half. Come on now, no defensive coordinator want to do that. I think teams are scared of Pickens a little bit more than what we're giving credit for. And I think that's the case. It's kind of like that's what's so good about the offense. If it's rolling, you got to pick your poison. You really do.
Yeah.
Jake dropped a couple balls. On his own. That one that he should have had when he got hit when they caused the penalty. He should have called that one.
He alligator arm that one.
Yeah, it's the one that was underthrown. Kind of. I let him slide on that one, but I'm telling you, got to pick your poison with this offense, man. We truly are a loaded team. It's not the top guys per se. CD is a top wide receiver in the league. Pickens is a real good one, but he's not considered top 10. Jake is not considered a top tight end, but he's right under there. You understand? So I'm saying, like, you got some weapons on here for real, and you have to really do it like that. Now, I don't know, the Giants may do something totally different. If I was them, I would double team CD, and George Pickens just got to beat me, and he can. But the Eagles messed me up with that one. They really did. They messed me up. We had to show some film on there so y'all can see what I was talking about.
Well, let me ask y'all a question here about that, because this is something that went through my mind. I remember a few years ago when we played Jacksonville. That's that game we went to overtime, and I think Dak threw a interception, but it was going to CD. CD was going across the middle from the left side to the right side, and it was an option route. And his option route should have took him in front of the safety, but he went behind the safety, and the ball just hit the safety dead in the arms. And to me, I was like, oh, CD didn't want to go in front of that safety because he didn't want the safety coming downhill on him when he catch that ball. Well, to me the other day, I don't know, when he goes across the middle a little bit, some of those drops I can attribute to he was kind of looking out for the contact. I felt like Ferg looked out for the contact too, because the ball hit him dead in his hand, and then the ball came out. Then he got hit. Then he got the penalty. Now Ferg is coming off that concussion too. So I don't know if, and I was saying all those things because I was wondering if just the lack of, that's their first time going against actual people that's going to get them the whole summer, to be honest with you, because in practice, nobody's hitting those guys. Preseason, they didn't play. And this is the first time they're getting hit. I don't know if they were, I don't know. First of all, do y'all even think that they were kind of alligator arming some of those balls, or it was in their mind they getting ready to get hit?
Watching it live, I did think that about Ferg. I didn't think that with CD. I think CD, he just had some bad drops. But going back to what we talked about earlier, both of you guys, these guys not playing any preseason games. It's just not a good idea. It's just not the way you should conduct business. So I do think we saw some of that in that first game, Bishop, because they haven't played.
Excuse me, man. Tried to choke. You made me laugh over here.
No, you good.
They could have. They could have got a couple series in, other than just the Rams. That was the only thing that they did in so far when they scrimmaged the Rams. But at the same time, the argument is going to be made, Cowboy Joe and B Bird, is that okay? They didn't play preseason games, and I'm not doubting nothing that you said, but you will have some that will say, "Well, we came out hot. We didn't come out flat. We came out smoking." To be honest with you, that's what shocked me how efficient we were right from the get go. I mean, we drove right down here there, so they were in rhythm. But to answer your question, the only thing that I will say is that maybe to get the offensive lineman going, Dak looked like he was in mid-season form already. But to get the offensive line going, because even against the Rams, it's more of a controlled type practice. Nobody ain't trying to just slaughter nobody out there. You know what I'm saying? So, but to go full blow where you just got to keep driving, you're going as hard as you can. I don't think that they really did that. You know what I'm saying? As far as preseason, off-season work goes. So that really was their first trip. That was our first time seeing Javonte Williams, who I think looked pretty good, to be honest with you. That was the real question mark for us on that end. And to be honest with you, we ran the ball well. Let me go back because I didn't answer that question, your question, Kyle. I got veered off about Jerry. Jerry does not have problems paying offensive linemen. He just don't. He always paid offensive linemen. And then when I think Tyler Smith ain't gonna go so smooth and easy. Nobody is not going to just talk to Jerry by himself. That's the lesson that Jerry gonna have to learn. Now, Doc, gonna call the agent from the get go. That's what's gonna happen from now on. Now, as far as Pickens goes, Pickens is gonna be kind of let's wait till the end of the year and then see if he goes off like a lot of people think they are. It's just what's the price tag for that? You know what I'm saying? What's the price tag gonna be? Nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? Just depending on what his stats say.
So big time, real quick. Let's do this. So we want to do something so we can get more people to subscribe to B-Bird's show and our show. So we're gonna put the link to our shows in there. If you folks will go over and like and subscribe and share. So subscribe to B-Bird's new channel and to our channel, Father and Son Sportscast, and then of course, Big Time Show has been in the game doing such a great job for so long. So we do want to promote the channels and have people go in and subscribe. The thing about Pickens is, and there was a whole lot of just talk about him in preseason, what he was going to bring. And going back to this game tomorrow, I'm willing to bet they're going to feature Pickens tomorrow. Pickens is going to have them now Sunday. He's going to have a great game, several catches. And then at that point, guys, it's just going to be a matter of Shotty just, spreading the ball around. And I know coverage is going to dictate it as well, guys. But, yeah, we definitely got to see Pickens get more involved. And I hope the front office is not, coming in trying to dictate. Because at this point, just to keep it real, keep it 100, after what Jerry did this offseason with the way this thing happened with Micah, they need to win games however they can win them. And if they're dumb enough to say, we're going to limit Pickens and, do whatever, you can easily just kind of lose some games here if they don't, get him involved in the offense.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that the season, so I'm gonna ask y'all a question because it's going back to what he just said. But how did y'all watch the Washington game last night? So the reason I'm asking this question is this: you could, so it's automatically we would probably go for Green Bay because Washington our division foe. But then some people go against Green Bay because of the Michael Parsons trade. So you're kind of conflicted with the watching the game, to be totally honest with you, because also you want Green Bay to lose because the draft picks will be higher. There's a lot of different things going on in that game, but then we don't like Washington Redskins. Redskins Commanders. So it's a lot of different things going on in that game. So the first part of the question is, how did y'all watch that game last night? I mean, who were y'all rooting for?
So me, I'm gonna just keep it 100. I kind of watched the game, kind of turned away for a few minutes, came back. It was just Twitter was just off the charts. It was just so crazy. People were posting. Also, another thing is we probably had this in common. We got friends and family members of the Cowboy Brigade. My phone was blowing up all throughout the game. At one point, I just stopped answering calls. So to answer your question, last night it wasn't a fun experience just seeing number one out there in Green Bay. And how did you look at it, Bishop?
I looked at it. I wanted Green Bay to beat their brains out. I mean, the day that I cheer for Washington is the day that I ain't gonna be here no more.
And the Steelers and the 49ers?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, look, Green Bay don't bother me. They're not in my division. They're not bothering me. The only thing that I will say is that to be honest with you, I looked at it as scouting for both teams. We got to play Green Bay in 2 or 3 more weeks, or whatever it is. Obviously, that's going to be a game that probably everybody going to say we're going to lose badly with that. And so we need to get ready for them. We need to see as much as their defense as possible. Then when it comes to Washington, it's obvious that we need to see how Debo fits into this system. He looked good last night. We need to see they let go of Brian Robinson. They banked on Austin Eckler, and true enough to his form, he gets hurt, his Achilles. And so they had this new dude, Jackson, whatever, Marford. I don't know his name, but it was big. So, it's a new look team. They got Larry Tunsil as a tackle. Well, we need to be scouting, to be honest with you. And that's the way I was looking at it. But I wasn't cheering for Washington at all. I need Washington to lose just to help us out.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going for Green Bay. I don't have any ill will towards Michael Parsons. I think the whole thing, we talked about it before, it was handled wrong. Not on his part, but on Jerry's part. I actually root for Micah to get some sacks. One of the reasons why is because Jerry's going to juxtapose the Cowboy seasons against the Green Bay Packers season this year because everybody else is going to do that. But what that's going to do is motivate him to, hey, we got to do something. He might get a fire up on his butt to do some things that he hadn't done before because we cannot have a 7-10 year while they're having a 14-3 year. That's just going to look terrible. While they're going to the Super Bowl, then you gave him a part to go to the Super Bowl. So I in the game last night, I was rooting for Green Bay and actually rooting for Micah to get some sacks or whatever. Because again, like these guys, man, these billionaires and these guys with these big egos, they got to be shamed into things and they want to protect their ego. So they'll try to do some things, maybe some moves of a little bit of desperation, which we hadn't done in a while, to get us better. So I looked at it that way, same way you did. I'm looking to win the division first. So I want everybody in our division to take L's, and we'll figure out the rest of the stuff later on.
Mm-hmm. I've always been a Clowney fan. A lot of people over the years have criticized him. But I've been a fan, so I haven't heard anything today on an update on that. But if we sound Jadeveon Clowney, I will be good with it. I think he definitely plays good against the run. He's more like a Tank to me, DeMarcus Lawrence. So if we get him signed, I think that'll be an improvement on what we're trying to do. So what do you guys think about that? What's the latest? Did we hear anything on Clowney signing?
Yes. Brian Broadus came out today on this morning on 105.3 The Fan. Of course, he has inside knowledge with those guys. He came out and said that the Cowboys did offer Clowney a contract, and Clowney said he want to wait. Obviously, that means, common sense will tell you want to see if he can probably get some more offers, et cetera, whatever the case may be. So the Cowboys did go after him. They brought him in. They liked him. They tried to not let him out of the building. They did go after him. But from what Broader said, of course, his knowledge in, it was Clowney who pumped the brakes on everything and said, I'll get back with you. You need to think things out. So,
what do you guys think about his game at this point?
Go ahead, B-Bird.
Well, Big Time, I want to ask you a question. If you're going to get you a brand new Tahoe, and you're going to go to 2 dealerships or 3 dealerships that day, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Tahoe is the same everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you get to the first dealership, but you're already scheduled to go to other dealerships. Is there an offer that first dealer can make to stop you from going to the other dealerships?
Yeah, I think you can if they offer more money. And I believe that's exactly what it is. It's just more money.
Absolutely.
We don't know what the price is, but
that's correct. And so what I would say is the Cowboys didn't make Clowney an offer that he couldn't refuse. And that's what it is. So I definitely agree with you here. But I was going to ask y'all about this because I've been wanting. Clowney reminds me of Calais Campbell. When everybody always say he old, but then after they say he's old, the next offseason, they look back and say, man, that dude had a good year. And then you say, okay, let's get it. No, he old. It's the same thing. And I think Clowney adds something to your team. I think Calais Campbell, for 5 years, added something to whatever team he went to. And, we needed a DT at that point in time. And I was like, why don't we ever even go after this guy? And everybody, message board, oh, he's old. Y'all been saying that for 6 years, and he's still playing and still being productive. Clowney's the same way. And I think the Baltimore year, he played really well. Last year at Carolina, he didn't play so well, but the team wasn't good either. You get to a team that's up and you can pass rush a little bit more, you get more production out of them. So I definitely hope that we can get him. It doesn't hurt to go and sign a guy like that and bring him in and see what he has left.
Let me just throw it in. He's excellent against the run. And what is our team? If you was talking about it, it just makes sense. We're a team that has this moniker on us that we cannot stop the run. So go get somebody that can help you stop the run. Once it comes to pass rush, Clowney has never been known as a guy who, who's been known for double-digit sacks or something like that. And the way that you look at that is, I believe another part of it, but he can get you 4 to maybe 5. He can do that. And right now, I think that also what did he say? He said, why would we pay, for one man this amount of money when I can go get 4 or 5?
Yeah.
So the way that I look at that is that, he's chasing those 12 and a half sacks that left when Michael left. So if you get 5 from Clowney, if you get 5 from Izaraku, if you get, 10 from Fowler, then you're going to say, well, hey, Michael only averages about 12 and a half a year. Look what Fowler did. He gave us double digits. Then here come Osa with 5 or 6 himself. Kenny Clark going to get you 3 or 4. And look, we made up for the sack production. It took 5 guys, but we got even more numbers. So that's what he got. I think he's chasing that. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. So Bishop, I do want to ask you this, and I agree. He does set the edge. So listening to your shows all off season, and one thing that kind of stood out to me when we're talking about stopping the run, Osa and Mozzie, I've heard you talk a lot about them on your show. We had some concerns about just those 2 guys being able to stop the run. How did Osa play against Philly, and what do we think is really going on with Mozzie? Have they given up on him? Are they gonna make him earn his spot on the roster? It's pretty interesting, the comments that are coming out of the head coach's mouth on Mozzie. He had a couple yesterday that I thought was pretty interesting.
Well, it's obvious that he's not it. As far as for now, I think that Mozzie is almost kind of like waiting for somebody to get hurt. And if everybody is healthy, he's even on the list. What you got to remember is that Perion Winfrey, who will be back later on, he's above him. So where it really is Mozzie in the defensive tackle room, is he right there with the kid from UCLA, Jay? And I think that's about the only one. Everybody else kind of, is above him. I think that Mozzie He's been using the word consistency forever when it comes to Mozzie. So it's obvious he's not doing the thing. Listen, when you got a guy that's drafted in the first round and now he's probably at the lower part of the totem pole or the roster, it ain't Schottenheimer's fault. It's not Schottenheimer's fault. And I'm not saying it's just that, he don't have too many sponsors in the building. That's why they went out. Why you think they went in and signed Perrion Winfrey? Because it wasn't right. You see what I'm saying? That's why they went in. How you think he made this team from the XFL? Come on now. It's common sense that he's there. Now, to answer your question, and maybe he needs a change, maybe, but you got to be careful because if somebody gets hurt, you need them because Winfrey is down. You need them. So I think that might be the case too. But let me say this about Osa. Osa did not shine, but I could see where he's going to be effective when you watch the film. Kenny Clark is a problem. Do you understand me? I'm telling you right now, Kenny Clark is a problem. What's up, landlord in the building? Landlord, our super partner is in the building. Landlord, appreciate you, man. B-Bird, he said this is his first time he ever saw you.
A lot of people have seen B-Bird before.
B-Bird. And we know B-Bird is legendary in the chat. He's legendary.
Yeah.
B-Bird is so great in the chat. We were saying, man, you need to start your own show. And B-Bird did exactly what we said. Coach Marv was another one that used to be like that.
Yeah.
Of course, Coach Marv has started his channel as well. So, but let me say this about Kenny Clark. I said that to say that Kenny Clark is so good. You got to remember, last year he played on a broken toe. Come on now, your feet ain't gonna be. You need your feet. you need your feet. And everybody wants to say he had a down. His foot was broke. Stop. He told bro, you can't do it all. But when he's healthy, he's one of the best defensive tackles in the game. He showed you that. Now, there's the part where you have to understand. What I saw of Cowboy Joe in the film, and for those that watched the film, what you saw was Osa getting a lot of one-on-ones because of Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Let's be honest. Philadelphia has one of the best lines in the game. You got Pro Bowlers just about everywhere. Okay, Osa going against a Pro Bowler. Guess what? Hey, the Pro Bowler probably got the little best of them, but you can see him generating pressure. Guess what? Every line ain't got no Pro Bowler. So if they play Clark like if the Giants play the way that the Eagles do, I'm looking for Osa to shine Sunday because I'm serious. I saw a lot of one-on-ones with Osa, and Osa is going to beat y'all. What's up, Night Owl Cowboy? What's going on, man? Appreciate you popping in on us. So that's what I saw. Not that Osa shined, but I saw the opportunities there for him to shine. And I think that's going to be a good thing because of the presence of Kenny Clark. We weren't getting there with Mozzie. You understand what I'm saying? We weren't getting there. He's a problem. Go ahead.
Well, one thing about Mozzie, man, is that you look at it, this is a pretty big demotion. I mean, you got a 7th rounder that's coming in, being active over him, getting playing time. And they acquired Clark in a trade because Mozzie wasn't effective. Because if he's the first round draft pick that we thought he was going to be, you wouldn't have to trade for Clark.
Yeah.
And you got Perrion Winfrey that pretty much was going to be in front of him also. But here's the deal, man. If you're go down.
I said XFL, B-Bird. He's
XFL. Yeah. And so if whenever he gets he's going to get another chance to come back up this year, right? Mm-hmm. Whenever he does, man, if this does not light the fire under him to be consistent, to be a professional, to give it everything that he got, then his time in the league is going to be short, to be honest with you, because they've given him, we said it's going to be 3 years. This is year 3 that we should saw some payback from the development of all the years. And the coaching staff don't see it. Now, one thing I would tell y'all too is that it's actually a good sign because the Joneses don't like their draft picks, their first round draft picks being on the bench. This is a sign that to me that the coaching staff has a little bit of say-so in this, right? Because they're politically, they want to look good in all their draft picks. and that he's not activated, I think it's a good thing, man. If we could look at it from that lens of the coaches have a little bit more control, I think it's a good thing because if he's not the top four guys, he shouldn't be out there then, and it shouldn't be politics involved.
Mm-hmm. Great
So
point.
what I've been saying, and I was saying this back in July, I think we needed to sign 2 veteran defensive tackles. We got one in
Yeah.
Clark. I still think we need another one. And so the positive thing about that would be that those guys, they could teach Osa, how to prepare. I'm not Osa, sorry, Mozzie, how to prepare. It's just going to help him. They drafted him. They didn't really have any veteran presence there with him. They got one now, but that could help him. Look, they the draft and develop team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna do that, you got to have some veterans in there to show the young guy how to prepare. How to practice, and so hopefully, that'll happen for him. But I agree with you guys. This is probably it right here. It's looking like we'll know on Sunday. He's going to be active again, inactive.
Let me throw that in because I don't want to gloss over what B Bird said because B Bird made in chat. We really need to pay attention to this because B Bird brought out a point that is just shocking to us, and that is usually history shows if you're a first round or second round or you getting paid the most, you got to play. That's the way it's always have been, the last few years.
Yeah.
This is even if you weren't playing well, you got your butt out there and played. Mozzie's been getting complained about ever since he got here, but he was always on the field, when he was healthy or whatever. This is the first time that I ain't seen in a while that it seems like, as B Bird said, that the coaches, and I'm gonna even throw in the assistant coaches, position coaches, have said, look, he ain't it. And he needs to be here while everybody else needs to be up here. And true to form, whether it's first round pick or whatever. And what we've said all offseason is, look, it take 3 years to find out really what you got in a defensive tackle. But Maz ain't in his 3rd year. We ain't find out nothing. He's on the bench. Matter of fact, he was in regular clothes. He didn't even dress for the game. So
he wasn't dressed?
No, he was not dressed. He was a healthy scratch.
Healthy scratch.
Yeah, he was not even dressed. So that ought to tell you that as B Bird said, that it ain't about Jerry and Steve, at least on this one. Maybe they flipped on him or whatever the case may be. But it's rare when you got a guy that was drafted in the 1st round, and now it seems like he's really at the bottom of the roster for real. I'm talking about the entire roster, to be honest with you. So that's a huge thing, and maybe Schottenheimer and his coaching staff really are kind of in charge, at least as of now. So that was a great point.
So let's kind of piggyback on that and kind of keep a little controversy going here. You can call it that. What did Schoonmaker do in this game? Where is he at? I think he caught a break when Brevin Spann-Ford got injured. I think he was pushing for that number 2 spot. So how did we think Schoon looked in this game? He had a big pass toward the sideline. It wasn't an easy catch. I went back and looked at that play. Somebody posted it. It was a tough throw. But what do we feel about Schoon long term? Because if you look at that 23 draft guys, if Mozzie and Schoon don't work out, you got major problems in that draft. And I was telling my son on one of our shows, going back to that draft, they were thinking about taking Overshawn in the 2nd round. Did you guys know that?
Mm-hmm.
So that 23 draft, if Mozzie and Schoon just crash out, that draft is not looking good.
Film again. When they ran the ball, it was Ford and Jake. Those were your blocking guys. Passing downs, it was Schoon in there. But I think it's going to be kind of hard to judge your second tight end in passing because if you really thinking about it, somebody going to be open before them. Yeah. And the ball going to go to Pickens or CD or Turp or whoever the case may be, and even Ferguson. So I don't know really how much we really talking about Schoon as far as, major. Now, I ain't gonna say major production. I'm just talking about, any type of day. If he get 2 catches a game, I'm shocked.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
To be honest with you, he did. I don't think we're really looking for him when you add a Pickens to it. Come on, and Turp is getting open every time he runs. I mean, he just too fast for everybody. I'm just saying, even Tolbert, when you put in Tolbert in there, but he's gonna be when he's open. The reason why he got the pass is because, really, to be honest with you, defenses are not gonna respect him, not because he can't play. It's just because you got too much other poison out there at the same time. that School makers the least of your worries. So when he gets his
he's low in the pecking order.
yeah, when he gets his opportunity, he got to kill. To be honest with you, he got to go to work. But but usually it's gonna be other people open as well. But as far as what we need him for, run blocking, he's not your first choice. It is if you're gonna run a 2 tight end set, your 2 tight ends that are gonna be blocking probably is gonna be Jake and then Ford. It's just no question about that. Not Schoon. By no means, not Schoon. I even saw Lemke pop out there with Ferg one time. See what I'm saying? So I mean, you got other options when it comes to the run game. That's what the film showed at least.
But so with Schoon, a couple things I always remember about him in that draft. I felt like the Cowboys they was hell bent on getting a tight end, and I was like, why y'all trying to get a tight end this early? You know what I'm saying? We got a decent tight end already, and Schoon is 26 years old, y'all. He's an older tight end. He's an older player when we got him already. But I'm just going to say this real quick because Big Time is right. On the pecking order, man, Schoon is low. I mean, you got to get to 5 people before you even get to thinking about Schoon. So, but what Big Time said is right. If he gets 2 targets, you need to catch 2 targets.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because they got people. What I like is they did break in competition. They're not selling for that. They got him in at the number 2 right now. They got guys on his butt though, and I just hope that if they come and they showing up in practice, they're showing up in the game, that they'll start getting more playing time than he does. So that's all I got to say about that. I did have one more.
No, go ahead, B-Bird.
Go on. Well, I was gonna. We kind of glossed over it, but I was gonna say this, man. We did a show earlier, Cowboy Joe and I, and I told him, hey, man, look, I'm willing to give Javonte Williams a chance because of what he showed. He had an injury last year. He's coming off of it. The guy's only 25 years old. He's a young guy. Let's see what he got. I was impressed with 2 things. I was impressed with him, but I also was impressed with Shotty's dedication to the run. I felt like he kind of dedicated himself to the run. Hey, they stopped it here. We're still going to run the ball. I thought he understood that we have to run the ball. We have to have the threat of the run. We can't just drop back and throw it every time. So 2 things I was going to ask y'all. What do y'all think about Javonte Williams? I was thoroughly impressed with him. And Shotty's being dedicated to the run. What do y'all think about those 2 things?
So a couple years ago, my son in his fantasy league, he almost won it, and one of his running backs was the running back you just mentioned. Is it Williams? Javonte Williams. So that was one of his running backs. I had never heard of him before, and so but when he was healthy, my son was pretty impressed with him. He had the ACL injury, and even Big Time and I, we've talked about the knee injury thing. We both had the knee surgeries, and it takes a year or 2 to come back from that. But the part of, I thought he was impressive. I will say this about Blue. So we did just literally 100 mock drafts this last draft period. And for the most part, we took him in the 5th round. In the 2nd and 3rd round, we had Travion Henderson and a couple of other backs that we took. So sometimes we took Blue, sometimes we didn't, because we're Texas guys. We watch Texas a lot, and you do too, B-Bird. So I said all that to say this. I don't think Blue is a starting running back. I absolutely think he can be a situational back. And Williams, I was impressed with his game the other night. What did you think, Big Time?
I I'll take it from this angle. Usually, ladies and gentlemen, if we go through years gone by, let me give y'all a scenario. First and goal from the 3-yard line in the McCarthy era. What formation were we in? Shotgun. I'll answer for you.
That's the wrong way to play it, right?
Spread all the time. This year, Coach Schottenheimer promised us that we're gonna run the football. This year, with first down from the 2-yard line, we packed everything in, had a 1-back set, and Dak handed the ball off. It wasn't no shotgun, period. What was the result? He did it twice, 2 touchdowns. It's real simple. If you want to know the difference, there it is right there. We ran the ball there. I was impressed with Javonte because we hadn't seen him in a while. He's a hammer. And that's what happened. Now, the other part, the name that we didn't call was Miles Sanders. The truth be told, Miles Sanders had a good game. He just fumbled. Yeah, that big run that he had, of course. Listen, we know that probably it was blue, that he would have been gone. However, I challenge you, I challenge everybody to say, hey, if it had been blue, he would have been gone. But in fairness to Sanders, would Blue have been patient enough to let that hole develop like Miles Sanders, the veteran, did to spring it? That's the question you need to ask. Would he have rushed it? Of course he would have outran Zach Bond. We know that. But we are missing a home run hitter from the running back position. Sanders is okay, but he just showed you that he can't break it, all the way. You're going to get caught. And every time you let a linebacker catch you, you know what a defensive back going to do. So that tells you what time it is. But, here's the thing, what they said about Blue. Don't know if you guys caught it. Schottenheimer was saying again that, the word consistency came up again.
Gotta earn it.
What does that mean? I don't know if that means his speed is not questionable. He's got that. But is he pass blocking right? Is he, you know what I'm saying? Does he know the playbook? Is he patient with the run? Or does he just go get it real quick and, you're not going, there's a lot of things that, in fairness, I'm just going to have to trust Coach Schottenheimer's his statement right now. In other words, what he's saying is, because Blue was a healthy scratch. What he's saying is he's just not ready to play yet. That's the bottom line. He's not ready. He's not going to get past Sanders at this point, at least as of now. He was definitely not going to get past Lemke, and he definitely wasn't getting past Javonte. I'm quite sure that will happen eventually, but as of now, he had his jogging suit on. So it's a reason why he had his jogging suit on. Yeah, he's faster than Miles, but is he, what is he? Can he pass block? Is he good against the blocking scheme? I don't know.
Well, one thing I tell you, man, is that when we, I think one of the biggest motivators that you can use right now is playing time, right? Like people talk about what the NFL has changed. Yeah, but when you start messing with people's playing time, you're actually messing with their career. And I'm saying it when it's earned, like when you are sloughing off or you're making mistakes or whatever, and now you're not active or you're not being professional, you're not putting forth the great effort, you're not active. Hey, the next step is you're not going to be on this team. And so I think that's a great motivator. I really think that either these guys like Mozzie and Blue, either they're going to get their stuff together or they're going to be on off NFL roster, any NFL roster. So I actually don't mind that at all, man, because I've always felt, this is just my thought process. If it's 3rd and 4 and you're on deep and the Cowboys defense is on the field and you jump off sides to give them a first down, you should come to the sideline. I really don't care who you are, because that's unexcusable. And I've always felt like there's some mistakes that people made. They're like, oh man, hit their step on the head and going back out there. No, that's a major mistake, dude. Like you can't give them, without that first down, we would have got the ball back. You jumped off sides and gave them a first down. No, come to the sideline, come talk to me. And so I don't mind Blue and Mozzie being challenged like this. That's how you get better. You got to challenge these players. But one thing I say about Sanders, man, Hey, my son, because he didn't like Sanders anyway. I said, man, you got to give him Sanders. You got to give him a chance, man. But anytime Zach Braun runs you down straight from behind, and I'm talking about it wasn't an angle or anything, dude. It was from behind. So I go back and say, well, let me go see what he ran in the combine. Man, Zach Braun ran a 4.65 in the combine.
Oh.
And so I'm like, man, look, I need my running back to be now. If that's a cornerback that catches you, I don't mind. And some people say, man, these linebackers are different. I don't care. A running back ain't supposed to be caught by a linebacker. Not when you got like 3 steps on the guy, man. And that's crazy to me. And I was like, God, dog, he lost a whole bunch of explosiveness or whatever.
So
and I did say in my mind that Blue, he'd have got there, but it is what it is.
So I'm gonna tell you guys something kind of funny. This is definitely like an OG thing. So Bishop, I missed the first part of the game because we had a chapter meeting, of course, on Thursday night. I hate Thursday night games, but we have meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So I missed the first half. So the second half or the last of the second quarter, I'm in my car listening to the game on the radio because I don't want to drive and watch it. It's kind of dangerous for all you young folks out there. You don't want to do that. Watch it on my phone. That's definitely an OG move. Just listen to it on the radio.
Yeah.
But anyway, when they called that play, B-Bird, and when Sanders broke, I'm saying to myself, it was a touchdown. So when he got to the 10-yard line and got tackled, just listening to it on the radio, I was saying to myself, how did he not score? That was just funny. It was just weird listening to that.
Yeah. Can
I say one thing
go ahead.
Let me say one thing about Blue, man, that people don't remember. Blue started out the 2024 year for the University of Texas Longhorns at the 3rd running back.
Yeah.
So injuries had to happen to get him on the field like he did. So I'm just letting y'all know that. I just wanted to add that part.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But we're missing, hopefully, Blue, you just hope that he can get involved because he is a guy that can hit his head on the goalpost from anywhere.
Yeah, home run hitter.
He's a home run hitter, and if he gets daylight, he can do it. He can run the ball. But again, it's more than just running the ball. It's about all the other stuff. Can you pass block? Can you pick up the blitz? All this type of stuff. I don't know. I'm quite sure he has, some familiarity with the playbook, but to what extent? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that one out there. But all I know is he was on. He's a healthy scratch, so he obviously is not ready to play. For at least before anybody right now. So we're gonna need him at some point. But as for now, he probably needs just learn.
And I do want to ask you guys this before I lose my train of thought. Turpin, I thought he was going to be a much bigger factor. So did we see enough of Turpin in this game where they, keying on him? How did he look? And I just thought we were going to see more from him, Cavante Turpin, on the offensive side of the ball. I don't think we saw that the other night.
Again, let me say this. I love the way that we used them. If you're looking for production, then you 1,000,000% right. But what they did do with him, they used him as a chess piece on the queen board.
Mm-hmm.
They motioned him just about every play. And from that motion, you could see whether they were in man or in zone. That only helped tag out. And, of course, the mismatch was there. But, again, I almost want to say it just like we were talking about Schoonmaker. Man, look, Turpin, even when he out there, he might be your 4th option.
He's a threat.
He's a threat, but I'm saying because if he's doing that, the ball is going to be dictated to either Lamb or Pickens. One of them going to be wide open. That's where the ball going. And Ferg probably is the 3rd. Turpin is
absolutely.
Unless Turpin is going down. I don't know if he's really up there as far as pecking order goes. That's how powerful the offense really is, man. Like Turpin is used as a chess piece, and he opened it up for Dak so he can see the ball. See the field tremendously well. He already knew pre-snap what they were running. If they didn't follow him, then they're in zone. If they followed him, they're in man. So it was that's what we didn't do with McCarthy. You using his speed as a chess piece. In other words, he played his role. And in this game, You got to play your role. So I really wasn't mad at it. I believe he's gonna catch some balls eventually, but it was effective. Look, it's a reason why Dak was so hot at the beginning now. And I think that part of, that's probably a big part of it.
But one thing too, man, is that when you have a Turpin on the field, if I'm on the defense, if I'm a safety, I gotta kind of stay back a little bit because of his speed, right? That helps with your run game. That helps with everything. The threat of him is almost, if you really remember Deshaun Jackson, how much of a threat he was. The threat of his speed really, dictates a lot of things what you can do on offense. But I was hoping that Blue and Turpin being on the field this year, because I really wanted a couple of things. What you said, I want somebody that when they catch the ball, they can hit their head on the goalpost. You know what I'm saying? If you miss a tackle against Blue, it should be over with. Turpin, if you miss a tackle, it could be over with. Just that suddenness. I think that's what we needed on the offense, because if you remember last year, we didn't really have any explosive players. CD was the closest one, and CD's fast, but he's not Turpin fast. He's not Blue fast or anything like that. So I'm hoping Blue can kind of get back in it, just to give us that threat, just to give us that. If you break it 10 yards and he's behind everybody, it's a wrap. Y'all can start jogging because y'all ain't catching this guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a huge Turpin fan. And then my understanding is, too, they had Tolbert running some kickoffs and punts, which was kind of weird. What was that about? They should have Turpin on all of those plays.
Well, they weren't kicking it. They weren't really trying to kick it.
They was kicking it away from Turpin?
Yeah, he got a couple of them that he did have a couple of returns, which I thought was like crazy. Like, really? Y'all going to kick the Turpin for real? Philly did a good job. I will say that. They did a good job in kickoff coverage, but a lot of times they did kick it the other way on that point. As far as punt return goes, and I know we didn't ask this question, they did not try to kick it to him at all.
I saw that. They was kicking it away from the
line. No question about that.
Yeah, but I did see that. So, yeah, look, I think we got a lot of, guys on this team that we got so many playmakers. You guys are right. They're going to have to just kind of, decide, okay, how are we going to spread this ball around? Obviously you're going to get it to CD, work Pickens in, Ferg, then the other guys, they'll have to just kind of get their plays when they get them. But that's the good thing about the offense. We got a lot of guys that at any given moment, they can light it up. That's what's gonna happen Sunday. I'm telling you now, we're gonna this game going away, and then the Chicago game. That's a game I got circled because, when you play the Cowboys, you guys know this. When you're playing Dallas, if you're 0-2 Chicago, your signature game for Ben Johnson is gonna be to try to beat Dallas. You beat Dallas and you're 1-2, it erases everything else. So that's what's coming down the turnpike here.
I think that before you get to Chicago, though, you better pay attention to the old moniker. I don't care who it is. It just seems like whoever plays the Cowboys play their Super Bowl game. And so as much as everybody think that we just finna just destroy the Giants, I don't know. The Giants, they pose a serious problem. One thing that we didn't tackle on, it was the offensive line, who I feel played tremendous football. They look very well. No sacks on that.
Yeah.
That's to be commended when everybody was thinking that Steele and Guyton were going to be trash and all that. They were putting hats on people. But you're going to need that, especially for this week. Because what we getting ready to go up against this week is something to deal with. And I'm not taking the Giants lightly at all. Thibodeau, Burns, Carter, and Dexter Lawrence are gonna be a problem. And you're gonna have to regulate them real quick. Because if you don't, they will take over the game. And so I don't think it's gonna be as lots are a lot. I think Vegas got us as a 5.5 favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 5 now?
Yeah.
I don't, I don't know. I hope we do rip them apart, but that front four is gonna give. We're gonna find out real early who's winning in the trenches, very quickly. As far as that goes, so let's just pay attention to that. I'm looking for us to get it done, but we'll see.
Hey, so I'll tell you this, man. Their front four is more talented than Phillies all the way across,
Yeah.
right? If you look at it. But I wanted to bring something up with the offensive line. You said something about that. I want to bring up another stat, man, I was impressed with. Man, we only had 4 penalties in the game. I don't know the last time we've had only 4 penalties, man. And that's outstanding because we're not beating ourselves. Really, we played that game, and it wasn't anything we go back and look at it. Because, man, how many times we had dumb penalties and Williams to have a dumb there's something, man, that would just throw us off and give somebody a first down or whatever. But us only having 4 penalties, and I think they had 11 or 12. So I think that's great, man. I mean, I hope that's shoddy, putting that into the culture, because we've been having penalty issues through a whole bunch of different coaches. You know, this is another one. And so hopefully we getting that solved. I hope it's not a one-off. But I was really impressed with the 4 penalties, man. If you don't beat yourself in a lot of these games, you're going to win games. Yeah. It just don't beat yourself. And we've done that so many times. So hopefully that's for something to come further, the 4 penalties. Hopefully we stay doing stuff like that.
And Marty Schottenheimer, the dad, his teams were very disciplined. It's kind of like a Parcells type team, very few penalties. So that was a good sign to see that. And, one of the things that never was talked about, Dan Quinn's teams are heavily penalized. So it was really McCarthy and Quinn that had an issue. They're a Big Bird. I don't know how the Commanders did last night, but last year the Commanders were one of the most heavily penalized teams. So Quinn, his teams don't show a lot of discipline. So that was a good sign for sure.
Yeah, that's the things that we asked for in the offseason. We asked for 2 things. We asked really 3. Yeah. We asked for stop the run. Well, we did. Anytime you tell me Barkley only had 60 yards rushing, that's a good night. Then when you said the pre-penalties, which have killed us over the years, consecutively, I may add, to only come away with 4 B-Bird is absolutely right. That was huge. You just didn't. Those are drive killers. We didn't have the real drive killers that night. And then us running the ball, the commitment was there. But at the same time, the Cowboys have the type of offense, and I've been saying it since I said it before we even took the first snap. We got the kind of offense I believe that can beat you either way. To be honest with you, if this line is what I think it could be, then it's going to make a number 2 running back have over 1,000 yards this year if he can stay healthy. Javonte Williams may have over 1,000 yards this year if he can stay healthy. They mauled Philadelphia's line. And I understand Jalen Carter wasn't in there. I understand that. I understand the difference that he does make. I get all that. But for the people that were in there, we weren't just like they were just killing us. We didn't score in the second half, but it wasn't because they were just shutting us. That we wasn't moving the ball. At least we looked real good. This is a bigger challenge, if you ask me, as far as defensive line goes. We about to find out exactly really where our line is on this week right here. If you can do this week and come out looking real good, you can play with anybody. And yes, that includes Chicago, that includes Green Bay, Washington, whoever else we got. If you can do that against this front 4, then I'm saying, we got a pretty good line for real. So that's what I'm looking for.
Yep, absolutely. Well, guys, we can go ahead and wind down. We've been on for over an hour. So again, man, this is just a great format with the OGs here. Just so much experience and so much that we can bring to the table in this space, and look forward to doing some more shows with you guys. I mean, I think this is a really, really good group of guys, and hopefully people will kind of like the format and like what we bring to the space.
All right. Listen, before we go, let me say this, and then we'll do our last words. Need everybody in here to go up into the chat, and we may put it there again. We need all of you guys to subscribe to our individual shows. We just came together for this one. Who knows? We might even do a YouTube channel for this. Who knows? We just to see what's going on. We just did it here on for now. But you need to go subscribe to B Bird's channel. It's in there. Well, there it is, right there in the chat. Need you to subscribe to him. Most of you already subscribe to the Big Time Show, but if not, I'm gonna try to put mine in since B Bird just put his in. Let me do that. I think that's right. Yes, there it is. And there it is there. Jules, if you're there, I need you to put the link in to y'all father and son. Put it in there real quick. Follow me, B Bird, if you're there. Usually Jules will be our kind of like our moderator for the night, keep us old folks in check.
Yeah.
With his son, I think we did pretty good on our own tonight. But if you don't mind, Jules, if you're there, I believe you are. Go ahead and put that in. Put it in y'all's chat, and that sort of give everybody an opportunity to follow all of our channels. For those that who have not followed each other, we can do that now. Go ahead, Cowboy. I don't know what you were saying. I just want to throw that in, put everybody's channel in. So that everybody
No, I said he was doing daddy duty, so I don't know if he's there or not, but we'll catch it next time. But again, just a great format, and then again, appreciate the people that joined in. D Shift, West Philly Black, T Foster, seen a lot of people I ain't never seen before. Just it's a need for this type of I think that's it right there.
Right there.
Yeah. So yeah, it's man, it's just awesome. So we'll definitely link up and do this again, and let's get a win on Sunday. Any given Sunday, we definitely got to be on our P's and Q's, but hopefully we can go in and get one and get to 1-1.
Yeah.
Hey fellas, it was great. It's always a good time, man, when I can hook up with y'all, man. And we talk football. I really do appreciate you guys, man. Just the knowledge y'all have. Just some guys my age, I can talk to. And not that we can't communicate with the other guys. I see everybody else do that too, but it's just real cool when we all can get together and talk. And everybody out there, if y'all can, man, y'all give me a follow at YouTube at B Bird Cowboys. And on Twitter, B Bird Cowboys on YouTube and Twitter. If y'all give me a follow, I appreciate it. I'm always over there dropping something down or commenting or doing something over there. So y'all give me a holler, man. It was great talking to you.
Awesome. Listen, I really don't want to add nothing to it. It's just good for the brotherhood to come together. That's really all I can say. We've all pretty much been on each other's shows, whether it's in the chat or live like this. Just good that all of us can come together. And hey, we're open for everybody. When you see us all three, it just ain't for the older folks. But what we noticed is that a lot of older people kind of like us what we're talking about. So I say, well, look, we all came together and say, why not? Let's just do this, and let's just see what happens. We might develop a YouTube channel just for this. That way, the show will grow. Who knows? You just never know. But in the meantime, everybody follow each other, support their channels, and listen to what they're saying. Live, B-Bird has a live show. Father and Son Sportscast has a show. Then, of course, I have a show as well. All of you just follow up. Then we'll come together kind of like this. By the time we come together next time, we'll have be talking about what we saw in the Giant game and get ready for the Bears the next week. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, man, I appreciate everybody hanging with us. I appreciate you.
Hey, one thing, big time before we get off, man. Hey, I just want to let you know I appreciate that ride to work, man.
Man, thank you so much, man. Once you follow,
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, once you follow the Big Time Show and subscribe to it and turn on those live notifications, and I'll say that about everybody. Turn on the live notifications so it makes no difference what time that they come on. You are going to see and catch us. So I do a little ride show almost 6:30 in the morning. I'd be shocked by the numbers that I do. I be
Yeah.
surprised. I mean, it's almost better than the prime time show. To be honest with you, like
Wow.
y'all wake up, they ain't brush your teeth. Want to talk about the Cowboys? Good Lord.
Yep. Yeah. I listened to that myself.
Appreciate you, man.
Great show.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
guys. So we'll chat again offline and hook up.
All right.
All right, man. Hey, good seeing y'all, man. Have a good Friday night.
You
Y'all
too.
take it easy, man.
All right.